Gain on Proton, bro. I think it'll be a fun fight. I think Gain shoots on Proton, though. A lot of people think it's just gonna be kickboxing, but I think Gain might try and switch it up for him, like how Francis Ngannou did to Gain. Tripped him out, confused him a little, you know.
That's a great point. You know, we have weight classes for a reason. There's also a reason why no one's become a 3-weight division champion.
Yeah, it's
he
so
couldn't
hard.
make 185 by almost killing himself. Now he's going up to heavy, where it's not. I mean, naturally he walks around as a heavyweight, but he's not naturally a heavyweight fighter. So what will happen? He'll be heavier, which will slow you down a bit. He will have, I think, extra power. I still think he can take the shots. I think he's still got the power to knock out heavyweights. But Cyril Gane, in his DNA, is a gigantic, bona fide, legit heavyweight that just so happens to be very, very light on the feet, incredibly fast, can move around, you know, all over the place, shaking and baking, jigging and jiving, moving and grooving, whatever else you want to say, right? I think that's a...
Alex Pereira is about to do something absolutely insane. He's not just moving up to heavyweight. He's targeting a 3rd title in a 3rd division against one of the most dangerous strikers the heavyweight division has ever seen. And here's the kicker. He's already deep into training camp, treating this like the career-defining moment it could be. We're talking about a guy who was draining himself to make middleweight just a few years ago, now stepping into the octagon with giants who walk around at 250 pounds year-round. But this isn't some desperate money grab or a tune-up fight. Cyril Gane represents everything that makes heavyweight dangerous: elite technique, natural size, and the kind of movement that most big men can only dream of. What makes this even crazier is that Pereira has never looked more confident. Training footage shows him working with heavyweight-sized sparring partners, adjusting his timing, and preparing for the reality that he's about to face the biggest, most technical opponent of his entire combat sports career.
Yeah, that's the thing. He kicks so well too. He's not just a guy that's going to be some lumbering heavyweight. I think there's a lot of heavyweights on the roster that Pereira would hands down easily just go out there and KO to death, no problem. This one is a challenge, and I think that's what entices him. Whether it was going to be Jones or whether it's going to be Cyril Gane, you're going for that 3rd belt. If he gets it, you are a legit. And where do we go from here? If he wins that friggin' belt at that White House event, does he go down as...
Michael Bisping dropped some serious truth bombs about what Pereira is walking into. And honestly, it should terrify anyone who understands combat sports. Bisping knows firsthand what it's like to face bigger opponents, and he didn't sugarcoat the reality. Weight classes exist for a reason, and Pereira is about to find out why. Think about the physics here. Pereira used to cut significant weight just to make 185 pounds, dehydrating himself and draining his body to compete at middleweight. Now he's facing a man who's naturally 240 pounds of muscle and technique. But here's where Bisping got really interesting. He believes Pereira has the power to knock out heavyweights, like genuinely sleep most guys in the division with one clean shot. The striking is that devastating, the technique is that refined. However, and this is crucial, Gane isn't most heavyweights. This isn't some lumbering giant who's slow and predictable. Gane moves like a light heavyweight trapped in a heavyweight's body, combining elite footwork with genuine knockout power. Gane analysis basically boiled down to this. Pereira can hurt anyone, but Gane might be the one heavyweight who can hurt him back while being too fast to get caught cleanly.
The infinite title shot glitch.
That is
He's
sick.
back again,
He's
fighting for
back.
the heavyweight title.
Bro, it is weird to be this. I mean, I feel like it. Yeah, I mean, Alex Pereira's opportunity to become a 3-time world champion, weight class world champion, whatever, against Ciryl Gane. It's almost perfect for the UFC, for Pereira's story. Like, to move, like, it's such a, it's a kickboxing fight with 4-ounce gloves on in the heavyweight division. Like, that's what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
I mean, Tom
Yeah,
Aspinall
basically,
versus Pereira, that's a sick fight too, but I don't know. So, hey, Ciryl Gane looked good in that fight against Tom. He was jabbing, he was sticking and moving, he was finger in the iron and moving, and he looked pretty good while the fight was happening. So,
and he's very good on the back foot as well, which is important against Pereira when he pressures you. And so this is going to be tricky. Like, I'd say Ciryl Gane has better footwork and movement and pop and move technique than like Jamal.
Paul Felder broke down exactly why this matchup is so fascinating from a pure martial arts perspective, and his analysis reveals just how high the stakes really are. According to Felder, who's seen elite striking at the highest level, Pereira could probably knock out 60% of the heavyweight division without breaking a sweat. The power translates, the technique is there, and the timing is as sharp as ever. Gane represents that elite 20% who can not only survive best shots, but potentially expose weaknesses we've never seen before. Gane's movement isn't just good for a heavyweight, it's legitimately elite by any standard. His kick game is technical and diverse, his striking combinations flow together seamlessly, and his ability to fight while moving backward is something most heavyweights can't even comprehend. Felder pointed out that this is exactly why Pereira chose this fight. This isn't about padding stats or taking easy money. If Gane beats Gane and claims a 3rd title in a 3rd division, we're talking about MMA history being rewritten. We're talking about a legacy that puts him in conversations with the greatest combat athletes who ever lived. But that's a massive if, because Gane might be the most technically sound heavyweight Pereira has ever faced.
The thing is with Ciryl Gane is he's never really knocked someone out in round 1 for a heavyweight. And I think for Pereira, you need someone who's going to, like, watch out. He could, like, that's where Tom Aspinall's interesting to fight Pereira, because he could shoot a takedown and get him down, or knock him out in the first round with a big...
Here's what nobody in MMA media wants to admit. No fighter in UFC history has ever accomplished what Pereira is attempting. Not Anderson Silva, not John Jones, not even the legendary champions who dominated for years. 3 titles in 3 divisions is unprecedented territory, and the MMA guru made a fascinating point about why this particular matchup might actually favor Pereira's skill set despite the obvious size disadvantage. Gane isn't a wrestler, Pereira certainly isn't looking to grapple, so we're guaranteed a pure striking battle from bell to bell. But here's where it gets complicated. Gane has genuinely exceptional movement for a heavyweight, like freakishly good footwork that allows him to fight while backing up, using angles and pivoting away from danger. He doesn't stand in front of opponents like some kind of heavyweight zombie, trading bombs until someone falls. That's not his style at all, and it's going to make him incredibly difficult to hit cleanly. The guru's analysis revealed something crucial. Gane's defensive movement, combined with his offensive output, could create problems Pereira has never had to solve before. This isn't just about landing one big shot. This might require Pereira to solve a puzzle that gets more complex as the fight progresses.
Ciryl's going to be hard to knock out in the first round because he does stick and move. He is such an experienced kickboxer. He's not going to sit there and trade with Pereira. He's gonna jab, he's going to move, and he bounces around, like you said, a light guy. and it's gonna be interesting.
But here's where Gain's fighting style could completely change the dynamic of this heavyweight clash. Unlike most heavyweights who come out swinging for the fences in round 1, Gain operates with a patience that's almost unnatural for the division. He doesn't rush in looking for early knockouts or try to end fights in the opening seconds. Instead, he methodically establishes his jab, builds his offense over time, and layers in different strikes as he reads his opponent's patterns. Against someone like Pereira, who's a legitimate knockout threat with every strike he throws, you'd expect fireworks immediately. But Gain's deliberate approach means the first round might actually be more technical and measured than the explosive heavyweight war most fans are expecting. The guru explained that this patient style could work in Gain's favor because it allows him to test Pereira's timing and reactions without taking unnecessary risks early. However, it also gives Pereira time to adjust and find his range, which could be dangerous as the fight progresses. The question becomes whether Gain can maintain that patient approach when Pereira starts pressuring and looking for the knockout shot that ends everything.
Right. It's really intriguing. It's like potentially like this could be, and I think I know which way the UFC would like this to go. This could be a phenomenal superstar-making crowning moment for Alex Pereira. If he goes and knocks out Cyril Gane, like first or second round, it's like, holy smokes, this guy might be the GOAT. If Cyril Gane tip-taps his way around for 25 minutes, or heaven forbid takes Alex down and is the bigger man, just lays on him for 25 minutes, it could be a fucking disaster, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if Cyril Gane's good enough on the ground to finish Alex Pereira, potentially. And she's still got that power. I mean, who knows? He could knock him out. I know Cyril Gane doesn't have like the craziest one-punch power in heavyweight terms, but he's going to be the naturally bigger guy.
There's going to be a lot of those flicky calf kicks for these two guys.
There's going to be a lot of that in this fight. And I do think it's a great style matchup for Pereira. Like, he is definitely, and I want to say this carefully and respectfully, but like the most skilled guy that Gane has probably fought. Like, obviously we're talking about
Sean O'Malley's breakdown revealed exactly why this stylistic clash is so compelling and genuinely difficult to predict. These two fighters approach striking from completely different philosophies, like they're from different martial arts schools entirely. Pereira likes to pressure, cut off the octagon, and create situations where his devastating power can take over and end fights instantly. Meanwhile, Gane prefers constant movement, staying light on his feet, using his technical skills to create distance and pick his shots carefully. O'Malley sees two clear paths to victory here. Pereira needs to catch Gane with a clean shot, probably early, to make a statement and prove his power translates to heavyweight. That's his bread and butter, and if he lands clean, the fight ends dramatically. However, if Gane maintains his movement throughout the fight and keeps Pereira at the proper distance using his length and footwork, this becomes a technical striking contest that could go deep into championship rounds. Here's the twist that makes this fascinating. In that scenario, Pereira might actually have to chase Gane around the octagon instead of being the hunter. That would completely flip the script on what we usually see from Pereira, who typically stands his ground and dares opponents to engage with his power.
So you know what the interesting thing here with Pereira and Gane is, because you think that Gane's going to be much bigger, being the heavyweight and all that. You look at Pereira here, he's 6'4", with a 79-inch reach. Cyril Gane will be taller. Actually, no, he's not taller. They're exact same height. Reach advantage does go to Gane, but not by much, 81 to 79. So I'm really curious to see how this looks. Of course, we saw the video on social media the other day with Alex Pereira weighing around 243 pounds. So I don't think it's going to be, much of a thing as far as, the size and strength difference in this fight. Obviously, Gane's got to be, stronger, you would think, because he's been more of a mainstay in the weight class. He's not cutting weight or anything like that. So Gane would have that advantage, but I'm curious to see if Pereira can do it. I don't remember the last time a, UFC champion has gone up 3 weight classes and had success. We know that Pereira's had a lot of success at 205, so that certainly fits the narrative that he can do amazing things here. And at heavyweight, we'll see. But what's interesting is he's fighting a guy in Gane who's also a very good striker. Now, obviously, power-wise, Pereira has that edge here, but Gane, I would argue, maybe the more technical guy, although, I mean, you could argue that Pereira's pretty damn technical too.
Oscar Willis made a crucial point about how this fight fits into the bigger picture, and why the placement on the card actually reveals something important about expectations. When Willis first heard about Pereira versus Gane, he assumed it would headline a card, which honestly didn't feel right to him as a main event. But when he realized it was positioned as a co-main event, everything clicked into place perfectly.
Matchup, my pick in this one, It's tough, man, because, you know, I'm usually the guy that does pick the mainstay in the weight class, although I didn't do that with JDM and Islam. I'm kind of leaning Pereira here only because I think Pereira has achieved a little bit more. The only concern, obviously, is that, you know, he is, you know, this is the third weight class he's competing in. But I do think that Pereira, you know, over 5 rounds can land a good shot and possibly hurt Gon. I believe Tuivasa might have hit Gon and put him in some. I don't think he dropped him, but he definitely connected on Gon. And I remember thinking like, okay, maybe someone can get on the inside. But yeah, it's hard to bet against Pereira at this point. So my early pick, if this fight again does end up coming to fruition, would be Pereira on this.
I don't think he gets past Ciryl. I think that weight is real. Could he 100%, in particular in that division. But nobody has really finished Ciryl Gane, and his movements is very problematic. Pereira also does get hit tomorrow. Now, can you take a heavyweight's punch? Now you're talking about Francis Ngannou power? A real big heavyweight?
You are right, Henry. Ciryl Gane is no slouch. When he was fighting Tom Aspinall, we saw how that fight was starting to look. But listen, I think this is a fantastic fight. I'm not counting anyone out here. I'm not counting Alex Pereira out here because Alex Pereira does have the power to really change things. We felt this way when Alex Pereira said he wanted to go to light heavyweight. Now he dominated that weight